This is the Tristan Law Show. If it's your first time here, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Tristan Law, semi-retired pro wrestler, and today, I'm your host. A few weeks ago, I dropped an episode, and it was titled 4 WWE Hall of Fame rejects that need to be fixed in 2025. But after sitting here and thinking about it for a little bit more, I said, there's more names that need to be added to the WWE Hall of Fame. So today, we're talking about 4 more rejects that need to be added to the WWE Hall of Fame. It needs to be fixed in 2025. Some are legends in the ring. Some have changed WWE behind the scenes. And one is an icon that has reached way beyond wrestling. If the WWE Hall of Fame is about honoring those who truly shaped this industry, these 4 names that I'm about to give you today can't wait any longer. If it's your first time here, this podcast is fully interactive, whether you're watching live or on demand. So if you got a question, if you got a comment, drop it in there because I read them all and I respond to them all personally. The question I'm asking you is, who do you think should be added to the WWE Hall of Fame? Well, let me give you the first person. When we talk about the Attitude Era, certain names always come up, like Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, The Undertaker, Triple H. But what about the ones who are grinding in the mid-card, putting on great matches and making everybody look better, holding championships along the way? When you ask me, there's one name that I really feel doesn't get enough credit, and that person is D'Lo Brown. He wasn't just a guy in the nation of domination. He was one of the most consistent performers in the late 90s. He had charisma, athleticism, and a unique style that made him stand out. And here's the crazy part. Every other member of the Nation of Domination is already in there. But D'Lo isn't in there. Let me show you. You got Farouk in there. Then you got The Rock right next to D'Lo Brown. And you got the Godfather on the far left, right? But where is D'Lo Brown? You even got Mark Henry. That was a picture that Mark Henry wasn't in there. Mark Henry's in there. The Rock is not in there, but after what The Rock did on Sunday, I don't think I could really talk about The Rock again. I got a little amped up yesterday. Check that episode out. But I'm making the case for why D'Lo Brown absolutely deserves to be inducted in the 2025 Hall of Fame. Look. While Ron Simmons, Mark Henry, and the Godfather have all been inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, D'Lo remains, like I said, the only core member of the Domination left out. He was an original member. Here are his contributions to pro wrestling and why he deserves an induction. Looking at the Nation of Domination, it's not complete without D'Lo. And you can't fully say the Nation of Domination is in there if D'Lo Brown's not in there. Look at Ron Simmons, Farouk. He got inducted in 2012. He was the leader of the Nation of Domination, and he was the first Black World Heavyweight Wrestling Champion. Adam, right? Makes sense, Adam. The Godfather, who was also known as Kama. He was entertaining. He had a life after the Nation of Domination, to where he was the Godfather, to where he brought ladies on the train and called it a garden tool train. Gotta be careful. It's middle of the day. Kids could be listening, but hey, you know what? Go Google it on yourself. But he was the enforcer for the Nation of Domination. And then you had Mark Henry, the world's most strongest man. He was a power lifter in the Olympics, and he became a world heavyweight champion. D'Lo Brown, left out, despite being one of the most active, visible, and successful members of the Nation of Domination faction during its peak. I think that's crap if you ask me. Because D'Lo was a lot more than just a faction member. He was a standout. Unlike the Godfather, right? Who played a supporting role. And I'm not saying that nobody else doesn't belong in there. What I'm doing is I'm proving my case for those who need to be in there right now. D'Lo was an in-ring workhorse, and he held major mid-card championships. Look, everybody can't be a main eventer on the card. If everybody main evented WrestleMania, then you can't. Somebody like D'Lo was the one that did all the work, that got the people ready and excited for when the main eventers came out. Their appetite was already wet with wrestling. And that's what D'Lo Brown did. D'Lo carved out his own singles career after the Nation Domination broke up, right? He went on to be a European champion. He was the Euro Intercontinental Champion. You don't even know what that is because it doesn't even exist anymore. He was the Intercontinental Champion and the European Champion at the same damn time. Yo, I got a hot take for you right now. If D'Lo Brown was not in the Nation, I dare to say The Rock wouldn't become a star as quickly as he did. Damn, can't believe I just said that. I said it. And if you like what I'm saying, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead. Where's it at? Go ahead and hit that subscribe. That subscribe means a lot. So, why are all my devices making noises? Who cares? Okay. But D'Lo Brown has had more championships and in-ring accomplishments than The Godfather. Damn. I just said that. 4-time European champion in the WWE. He has the most reigns in history. 1-time Intercontinental Champion, and like I said, he held the Intercontinental Champion and European Championship at the same time. He was a tag team champion outside the WWE, and the only reason I'm bringing that up is because the WWE also acknowledges people's contributions outside of the WWE. The Godfather, though, he only had 1 Intercontinental Championship in his whole career. D'Lo had a stronger in-ring career than The Godfather, but still isn't in the Hall of Fame. Looking at D'Lo Brown's longevity and influence in the next generation, he wrestled in WWE, he wrestled in TNA, and around the world for over 25 years. He became a producer and a mentor in TNA, or Impact Wrestling, whatever you want to call it, and helped train the next generation. He even inspired wrestlers like Ricochet and Shelton Benjamin, who have cited his high-flying athleticism as groundbreaking for a heavyweight. Maybe it's his past relationship with TNA, right? Some people have speculated that D'Lo's previous ties to TNA delayed his induction. That could be possibly true. But WWE and TNA now have a working relationship, and D'Lo no longer works for TNA, so what's the excuse? Other figures like AJ Styles, Bobby Roode, and even TNA knockouts have been welcomed into the WWE. D'Lo should be welcomed back into the WWE. Let's take a look at the chat. We got Dom Delivers here, hanging out. Mr. Sky High himself. That's right, Mr. D'Lo Brown. He's looking for the real deal now. Yeah. She says, I mean only because he was a part of the Nation Domination, but other reasons may include that he has had longevity in the wrestling business. I agree. And she says, to be honest, I feel like he should be a part because many other members, there are people in the WWE Hall of Fame with lesser resumes and are in the Hall of Fame. And as we go through this list today, as I tell you the other 3 people, you're going to be like, damn, there's people in there that definitely needed to be in there. I mean, here's my final argument. If Farouk, Ron Simmons, if The Godfather, a.k.a. Kama, and Mark Henry are in there, D'Lo Brown should be in there too. Granted, they were all in there as a group, but I think D'Lo played a bigger in-ring role than The Godfather. D'Lo was more decorated in the WWE than The Godfather and more influential in the Nation of Domination than Mark Henry. If WWE is truly honoring the history of the Nation of Domination, D'Lo's absence from the Hall of Fame makes no sense. He's one of the most underrated superstars of the Attitude Era, and it's time that the WWE gives him the recognition that he deserves. The Nation of Domination was one of WWE's most influential factions, and representation means everything. And every key member is in the Hall of Fame. Not The Rock. It's not The Rock's time yet. But D'Lo's not in there, and that needs to change in 2025. If you like what I'm saying, right? Mash that subscribe button. We're up to 195 subscribers. I don't know where these people are coming from, but I'm so glad that you are here. I don't want to say these people. That sounds weird. I don't know where everyone is coming from or how you find me, but however you find me, I'm glad that you are here because, I think I'm creating something really special and you get to be a part of it every Tuesday and Fridays at noon, but we did an episode yesterday talking about the Elimination Chamber and John Cena and all that stuff. If you missed it, check it out. It was something fun to watch. But somebody else that needs to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. Oh my God, this guy right here, this person right here. I don't even know where to start, and I don't even understand why this person's not in there. But understand this. Every WWE wrestler has a theme song. Every legend has a song that instantly brings them to life. The moment the glass shatters, you know Stone Cold Steve Austin's about to raise hell. When you hear that first gong, you know The Undertaker's making his way to the ring. And when The Rock's music hits, the entire arena explodes. But have you ever stopped to think who's created those legendary themes? For over 30 years, this guy right here, one man, was the musical mastermind behind WWE's most iconic entrance songs, Jim Johnston. From the 80s all the way to 2017, he was the unsung hero who gave superstars their soundtracks, helping define their characters before they even stepped into the ring. He shaped it all. He shaped the sound of WWE. And despite his massive impact on the business, Jim Johnston's not in the WWE Hall of Fame. Let's look at why Jim Johnston needs to be inducted in the 2025 WWE Hall of Fame. The whole argument is that he created the soundtrack to our childhoods. If you are an almost 40-year-old man like me, there are people that are 50 and people in their early 30s that could say, I know that song. Jim Johnston wrote it. Look, listen, from the late 80s to about 2017, Jim Johnston created over 10,000 songs. Some that you may have heard, some that you may not have heard. He created legendary theme songs for Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, The Rock, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Kane, Vince McMahon, and more and more and more and more. Even more, he transcended pro wrestling. Jim Johnston created music with Run DMC, the DX theme. He even worked with Kid Rock with the American Bad ASS song and Motorhead, the Triple H's song, The Game. When you hear the original version of Triple H's song, The Game, and then you hear Motorhead come on there and they do the little extra thing, you go, wow, the magical genius behind Jim Johnston. The reason why I keep showing his face is because a lot of people don't know what Jim Johnston looks like, and I want you to be familiar with his face. That is him in the studio, working, creating the themes that we listen to today. Jim Johnston's themes have defined eras of pro wrestling. Just walk with me for a little bit. Hold my hand and walk with me just for a little bit. Jim Johnston's music evolved with the WWE. He can compose rock music, right? He can make hip hop. He can make orchestral music, country, heavy metal, whatever it is that the character needed, that the gimmick needed to feel alive, he did it. One of my favorite things to listen to, and you can look it up on YouTube. When you're done with this, don't go nowhere. Stop it. Don't move. But one of the things I like to look at on YouTube is when Jim Johnston created the theme song for The Undertaker. You just see him here. You just listen to him just playing it on the piano, and you just see the musical genius behind that guy. Look at his face. You can remember what he looks like. In the 80s, he created themes that gave WWE an epic, larger-than-life feel. Warrior, Jake the Snake Roberts. In the 90s, he transitioned to the Attitude Era. Again, Austin, Rock, DX, Undertaker, Kane. In the 2000s, he created music for a new generation. John Cena, Evolution, Mr. Batista, right? Randy Orton created songs for him as well, too. Right, granted, they had commercial or well-known mainstream musical artists sing those songs, but they had to start somewhere. No matter the era, Jim Johnston was the musical backbone of the WWE. And why hasn't he been inducted? You tell me what you think in the chat. In the chat, we got Let's see. Dom Deliver says she thinks that he should be inducted for his contributions are deeper than wrestling. It's a cultural shift. Okay, I agree. And Dom Delivers also says it's long overdue. His music has shaped so many eras, moments, and memories. Yeah, thank you so much for your comment. Whether I'm live or on demand, go ahead and put your comments in because I read all of them and I comment to each and every single one of them. When you watch the Tristan Law Show, you have a voice. And there's not many podcasts on YouTube or that talk about wrestling that give you the opportunity to voice your opinion and not make you feel silly. I've seen some silly comments, but you know what? Somebody thought it was a good comment and decided to take the time to watch and type, and they typed down and read. I'm not saying that Dom Delivers had bad comments, because she always comes in and puts in good comments, so we appreciate her and anybody else that participates here in the Tristan Law Show. But why hasn't Jim Johnston been inducted yet? He left the WWE in 2017 after over 30 years of service. Maybe there's bad blood with the WWE. I don't know. I'm just freestyling. WWE does, though, however, rarely acknowledge the behind-the-scene figures, even though he was one of the most important contributors in company history. Just as big as Mr. T, just as big as Hulk Hogan, just as big as The Rock, just as big as Cyndi Lauper, and should I keep going? WWE, though, now uses songs from CFO or Def Rebel and other composers. But fans argue that the newer themes don't have the timeless feel like Johnston's music, man. But listen to this. Let's get crazy, right? If WWE can induct Drew Carey, William Shatner, and Arnold Schwarzenegger, there's no excuse for the man who created the soundtrack of WWE history to not be in there. Listen how crazy this sounds to me. They have the host of The Price is Right. They have Captain Kirk and the Terminator in the WWE Hall of Fame, but they don't have the damn guy that worked there. Yo, let me say this again for everybody that's sitting in the back row. Jim Johnston worked for the WWE for 30 years, creating all of the iconic themes that we listen to today. Undertaker, Rock, Stone Cold, Vince McMahon, you name it, he's done it. But in the WWE Hall of Fame is not Jim Johnston. However, they have the host for The Price is Right, they have Captain Kirk, and they have the Terminator. Let me go ahead and give myself a hand clap right quick, right? Because tell me, am I not proving the point? How is Jim Johnston not in the WWE Hall of Fame? Look, if the WWE can't do math and 1 + 1 is 11 to them, I get it. But when I went to school, and I'm sure that when you went to school, 1 + 1 is 2. And if WWE is not using the right math, I could understand why it don't make no sense to me. But here's my final argument. If anybody deserves it, it's Jim Johnston. WWE has inducted comedians, musicians, and athletes from outside of pro wrestling. What about the person that actually worked there? What do they think, that Jim Johnston has sat around for 30 years just drinking coffee? No! The guy made iconic themes that we love and know and have grown up with today, and he's not in the WWE Hall of Fame. When I say it out loud, it just sounds so crazy to me. I'm just giving you all the things in my head. They have the host of The Price is Right. They have Captain Kirk and the Terminator in the Hall of Fame. And the guy that worked there for 30 plus years is not there. The WWE has a celebrity wing in the Hall of Fame. So why is there room for the man responsible for some of the greatest themes? His work lives on in every single legendary wrestler when they make an entrance. You can go back and watch anything on YouTube about pro wrestling, about WWE, and when you hear that song, you could probably, if you had $1, if you only had $1 to your name, you could bet that dollar that Jim Johnston probably wrote it. Here's my final statement on Jim Johnston. He is as important to WWE as any wrestler who's ever stepped foot in the ring. He didn't just make music, he created moments. And that's what pro wrestling's all about, moments. He made superstars feel like superstars, and he made WrestleMania feel like WrestleMania. And if the WWE Hall of Fame is about honoring those who made the biggest impact, then Jim Johnston should have been inducted years ago. And it's time that WWE fixes this mistake here in 2025. They got Captain Kirk in there, but they don't have. Subscribe. Subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to the Tristan Law Show. That's mad. Don't hit the one on the screen. It doesn't do anything. Just hit the subscribe button in the corner, because you know what? I feel like I be going crazy sometimes, right? All right. I'm going to hit y'all with another one. Everything, for me, I think the WWE Hall of Fame is very prestigious, right? And I think that there's definitely certain people should be in there. And that's my argument that I'm making today. This person that I'm talking about now, for nearly 35 plus years, WrestleMania has kicked off with a performance. And I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it because I can just hear the song in my head. That performance is America the Beautiful. Yeah, it was sang by Ray Charles, but this song here, the America the Beautiful, it's a tradition that sets the stage for WWE's biggest event of the year. But when it comes to legendary performances of the song, there's one name that stands out above the rest, because many people have performed it. I'm talking about the legendary Aretha Franklin. Not only did she sing the song once, she did it twice. First at WrestleMania 3 and then again at WrestleMania 23, 20 years later. Her voice brought prestige and a sense of pomp and circumstance to the WWE's biggest event, proving that WrestleMania was more than wrestling. It was an event that transcended pro wrestling. WWE has already got musicians in there like Kid Rock and Mr. Snoop, D-O-double-G, Snoop Dogg himself, Mr. Snoop, Shizzle My Nizzle Izzle. So why not the Queen of Soul? If anyone deserves a spot in the WWE Hall of Fame, it's her. Because she's prestigious. The Queen of Soul, she sang the crap out of that song. If you don't believe me, when you're done looking here, go look at Aretha Franklin singing at WrestleMania 3 and then WrestleMania 23. You go check that out. I dare you to go check that out. Not right now. Don't go anywhere. When I'm done. She brought prestige to WrestleMania like no other celebrity. At WrestleMania 3 in 1987, she sang America the Beautiful in front of 70,000 plus at the Pontiac Silverdome. That's her right there. That's Miss Aretha Franklin there. And then 20 years later, they asked her to come back and do it again. Now here's my issue. If she was so trash, why would they ask her to come back and do it 20 years later? All right, fine. One of my friends, Dave Knows Wrestling, big YouTuber here on YouTube. I'm going to give him that free plug because he gave me a plug a couple weeks ago. He would say, but Tristan, it's 20 years later. They did WrestleMania 3 in Detroit and they did WrestleMania 23 in Detroit. It would just make sense. I know that it makes sense. But come on, man. What about the Queen of Soul? Listen, Aretha Franklin elevated WrestleMania to a new level. Right, Ray Charles sang that song, his song, that he brought back to prominence at WrestleMania 2. And at WrestleMania 3, she came back. Because before WrestleMania 3, yes, Ray Charles performed the song at WrestleMania. But Aretha Franklin was the first musical icon to sing it with soul. Her performance gave WWE a sense of credibility and mainstream appeal that helped solidify WrestleMania as more than just a wrestling event. It became a cultural phenomenon. When WWE needed a major star for WrestleMania 23, they went back to Aretha. If she was so trash, why would they go back to her again? Look, listen to me what I'm telling you. Aretha Franklin is not the only singer in the world. They could have had anybody sing that song, but they went back to Aretha Franklin. Let's look at the chat, because I need to calm down. Dom Deliver says that her presence gave the WWE more credibility. I agree with that. She also says that it was legendary in 1987. 20 years later, she gave a stunning rendition. This proves her lasting connection to the WWE. Yeah, I agree. Let's look at some other names that are, thank you for your comments. Let's look at some other names of celebrities that WWE has inducted with less impact. In the Celebrity Hall of Fame wing, you already know I'm going to mention this name because I brought up his name in the last episode, and I suggest you check that out when we're done here. Kid Rock. He got inducted in 2018. What did he do? I don't know. He performed a couple theme songs and made guest appearances. Sounds nice. Snoop Dogg, inducted in 2016. He hosted he hosted WWE events and even walked Sasha Banks to the ring. Okay. Well, Aretha Franklin walked to the ring twice. All right. Donald Trump, added in 2013. He hosted WrestleMania 4 and 5 at his properties in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and even had a short storyline at WrestleMania 23. The same exact WrestleMania that Aretha Franklin sang at. Drew Carey, the host of The Price is Right. He was in the Royal Rumble for a cup of coffee. Okay? Most of you have been watching the Tristan Law show longer than Drew Carey was in the Royal Rumble. And he's in the Hall of Fame? None of those people have had a cultural impact on the WWE like Aretha Franklin did. If Kid Rock and Snoop D-O-double-G could be in there, there's no reason that Aretha Franklin shouldn't be. The Queen of Soul, she belongs among the other legends. WWE's Hall of Fame, we already know it's not just for wrestlers. It's for anyone who's made a long-lasting impact on the business. Aretha Franklin's contributions, they're just as significant as... No, they're more significant than anybody else that's already been inducted. Her voice was the soundtrack to one of WWE's biggest nights, WrestleMania 3 and WrestleMania 23. She gave WrestleMania and the WWE a level of prestige like no other performer could. Here's my final thoughts on her before I give you the last person that should be added. WrestleMania has always been bigger than wrestling, especially since the first one. It's an event where sports, music, and entertainment all meet in the middle. Aretha Franklin, she didn't just perform at WrestleMania, she set the standard. If WWE really wants to truly honor those who made WrestleMania special, then the Queen of Soul deserves her place right there in the Hall of Fame. It is time for the WWE to give Aretha Franklin some R-E-S-P-E-C-T and put her in the WWE Hall of Fame. Damn, I just did that. Subscribe to the damn podcast. When you subscribe to me, it lets me know that I'm doing a good job. How about you put some R-E-S-P-E-C-T on me and subscribe to the damn podcast? Why not? Tristan Law Show. Live every Tuesday and Friday at noon. Sometimes we do other shows outside of that. But you know what? You don't know if you don't subscribe. And they say to hit the bell button, but hit the damn bell button. And if you like this, hit the like button as well too. Why not? Let me know you like it. If you like me, hit the like button. Now, this person here that I'm going to talk about in the WWE Hall of Fame that needs to be added to the WWE Hall of Fame. Look, some WWE Hall of Fame snubs, it's debatable, right? We can debate Aretha Franklin. We can debate any of the names that I talked about before in this episode or the other episode that we did on the WWE Hall of Fame. But this one here, it's undeniable. We're talking about Lex Luger. He is one of the most accomplished wrestlers in his era. He's a two-time WCW World Champion, a WWE Royal Rumble winner, and a WCW Triple Crown Champion. He's had legendary moments in both WWE and WCW, yet somehow he's still not in the WWE Hall of Fame. This is the same as that guy that picked up Yokozuna and bodyslammed him on the USS Intrepid. He's main evented SummerSlam 93 and co-main evented WrestleMania 10 and was a dominant force in the WWE. Well, no. He was a dominant force in pro wrestling for over a decade. There are other WCW legends of his era that are in the WWE Hall of Fame, but he's not in there. Sting, Ric Flair, Booker T, Scott Steiner, Goldberg. Goldberg is in the WWE Hall of Fame and Lex Luger's not in it. WWE, I want my money back. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to prove the case for why Lex Luger needs to be added into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2025. One of the few wrestlers who was a top star in both WWE and WCW. There's not many that crossed over. Many people weren't on top. WWE positioned him, though, as the next Hulk Hogan, while WCW made him a multiple champion multiple times. Whether he was babyface or heel, Lex Luger was always the main event in every picture. Look at that body, right? Look at that body. Boom, 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 boom. That's him being the WCW champion right there. How many wrestlers can say that they were top draw in two different promotions during the hottest era in wrestling history? I'm talking about the Attitude Era. There's not, look, who? Hogan? Hogan was only in WCW in the Attitude Era. So don't give me that. Don't give me that. Don't give me that. You want to talk about iconic moments to why that man should be in the WWE Hall of Fame? July 4th, 1993. That is the only date that matters. If nothing else matters to why Lex Luger is not in the WWE Hall of Fame, this is the only reason that matters. July 4th, 1993. Don't have to go Google it. I'm going to tell you what happened. Not only was it Independence Day, the birthday of America, but this man here, Lex Luger, he embodied America. He ran around defeating foes in the ring in the red, white, and blue. And on the USS Intrepid, he body slammed Yokozuna. That's him lifting up Yokozuna's big ass right there. He body slammed the 500-pound champion on the USS Intrepid. Body slammed him so hard that the water in the Hudson River started shaking. The USS Intrepid is in the Hudson River, in case you didn't know. Go check it out. This was one of WWE's most patriotic moments ever, launching Luger's push and rise as the WWE All-American Hero. Let me tell you, WWE has done a lot of patriotic things in their whole entire time. And that was one of them. Like, yo, you body slammed the Japanese gentleman, right? The wrestler with a Japanese gimmick, the Yokozuna, on the USS Intrepid, on American soil, on the birthday of America, and you're not in the WWE Hall of Fame? Lex Luger is one of WWE's top babyfaces leading into SummerSlam 1993. If you don't believe me, go look it up on Peacock, or if you live international, go look it up on Netflix, because you guys are so lucky. That moment is still replayed in WWE history packages, yet Lex Luger himself isn't in the Hall of Fame. That makes no sense. You know what else doesn't make sense? The Terminator, Captain Kirk, and the host of The Price is Right are in the Hall of Fame, but Lex Luger's not in there. Listen to his resume. 2-time WCW World Champion. 5-time WCW United States Champion. 3-time WCW Tag Team Champion. 2-time WCW Television Champion. That made him the WCW Triple Crown Champion. And only a handful of wrestlers hold this honor. Not many people in WCW hold being a Triple Crown Champion. But Lex Luger's in there. Oh, and did I forget to mention that Lex Luger was the 1994 Royal Rumble winner? Oh, and he did it with Bret Hart. Look, listen to this. I mean, don't listen to it. Look at it. Look at him holding up Yokozuna's big behind over there. And he's not in the WWE Hall of Fame. Make sense to you? Huh? Look at him. WCW champion at WCW Road Wild. And he's not there. You ready for this? 2 people that are already in the Hall of Fame. Goldberg and the Ultimate Warrior. Lex Luger's won more championships than them. Why he's not in the WWE Hall of Fame? Do I sound crazy or what? Lex Luger has had legendary feuds with some of the most biggest names in wrestling. The Nature Boy, Ric Flair, one of the greatest rivals in WCW with multiple world title matches. How about Mr. Woo himself, Sting, spanning a friendship, betrayal, and championship battles? How about Mr. Eat Your Vitamins and Say Your Prayers because I'm going to lie to you, Hulk Hogan? He defeated Hulk Hogan for the WCW world title in 1997, one of the biggest upsets in Nitro history. And the NWO, he was a key player in WCW's war against the NWO. But I don't think they won because they say once you're NWO, you're NWO for life. Lex Luger wasn't just in the main event. He helped shape the wrestling's biggest storylines. Like I said, other WCW legends in his era that are in the WWE Hall of Fame, but he's not in there. Ric Flair, added in 2008. Sting, 2016. Goldberg, 2018. Booker T, Mr. Five-time 5-time WCW champion, added in 2013, and Scott Steiner added in 2022. You know who's missing? The book is open test. You already know the answer. It's Lex Luger. But if WCW's biggest stars are all in, then why is one of the most longest tenured champions being ignored? I'll wait. Let's see if anybody can figure out in the chat. Dom Delivers checks in, and she says that we can mention Donald Trump, Kid Rock, and Drew Carey, who hold less weight. Look, they hold their spot in the WWE Hall of Fame. Donald Trump, and I'm not talking about the president, I'm talking about the guy who he was back in the day, right? We don't do politics here. That's a whole nother podcast. Donald Trump gave the WWE a place to hold WrestleMania. When WWE wasn't doing that great, he opened the doors and said, you know what, come to Atlantic City. That building is still standing on the boardwalk. And said, hold WrestleMania 4 and 5 here, Vince McMahon. I get it, right? You helped out the brother, right? Kid Rock, he sang the American Bad ASS song for The Undertaker. And Drew Carey, I don't know what Drew Carey did. The Terminator, what did the Terminator do? And what did Captain Kirk do? And they're all in the Hall of Fame. Yo, it's crazy when you say it out loud. In the WWE Hall of Fame, the host of The Price is Right, the President of the United States, Captain Kirk, and the Terminator in the Hall of Fame. But Lex Luger's not in the Hall of Fame. Here's why a lot of people probably think that he's not in there. Let me know what you think in the comments. Why do you think that Lex Luger is not in the Hall of Fame? Tell me in the comments. Maybe it's because some of his past struggles, but I don't think at this point and stage in his life, I don't think that they should keep him out. Many people believe his personal struggles and like, for example, Miss Elizabeth's passing may have delayed his induction into the Hall of Fame. I can see that. He probably got a little bit too much poo-poo on his shoe at the time. I don't know. But WWE already has people in there with troubled pasts. Ultimate Warrior, known for making controversial statements. Scott Hall, who battled alcohol addiction and turned his life around. And Jake the Snake Roberts, same exact thing as Hall, and is now a respected veteran. Lex Luger turned his life around. He found God and is an inspiration to many. I watched his interview with Chris Van Vliet. Chris Van Vliet's a pretty cool guy, and he does big name interviews with pro wrestlers. And listening to Lex Luger was just very inspirational. If WWE can forgive and honor others who have had challenges in their life, then Lex Luger deserves the same respect. Here's my final argument. Lex Luger's legacy is undeniable. I think I proved that. He was a top star in both WCW and WWE. He had an all-time iconic moment with Yokozuna getting bodyslammed on July 4th on the USS Intrepid. His major championship resume is much better than most of the Hall of Famers in there. Maybe not Ric Flair, but we're not counting Ric Flair. Every WCW legend of his time is already in the Hall of Fame except for him. He overcame his personal struggles, and Lex Luger is a positive figure today. My final statement is this. Lex Luger was a major part of pro wrestling's biggest era, and his absence from the WWE Hall of Fame is impossible to justify. If WWE truly wants to honor the biggest names in history, then Lex Luger must be inducted in 2025. It is time to give the total package his flowers. They have the Terminator, the President of the United States, Captain Kirk, and a host of The Price is Right in the Hall of Fame. However, D'Lo Brown, Jim Johnston, Aretha Franklin, and Lex Luger, they're not in there. Listen to me. D'Lo Brown, Jim Johnston, Aretha Franklin, and Lex Luger, these are 4 names that I think that deserve to be inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2025. And I think it needs to happen now. Right now, it needs to happen now. Open up the Hall of Fame and put them in there right now. If you agree with me, hit that like button. Hit that like button. Let me know that you agree with me. And you know what? While you're at it too, it's your first time, hit that subscribe button because I'm coming back on Friday. I don't know what I'm talking about on Friday, but I'm going to be here Friday at noon, God willing. I'll be here, and I expect you to be here too. It's almost like appointment TV. 195 subscribers. I don't know where all the subscribers are coming from, but I'm so glad that you guys are all here. because we are building a brand. The Tristan Law Show is becoming a whole entire brand. The things that I'm going to do, the things that I think about doing are going to blow your mind, because I love talking to you. Because in case you've never been here before, you've been here before, you see the passion that comes out of me, the hard work that goes into this. There's a lot of hard work that goes into the Tristan Law Show. And I appreciate you for taking the time on this Tuesday afternoon to join me. Who do you think should be inducted next into the WWE Hall of Fame? Who's been left out for too long? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because we're going to talk about it well after this. Well after this. Well, that's it. Thanks so much for joining me. And if you like what I said today, be sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Don't let me be your little dirty secret. Come on, share me with your friends. It ain't fun if all the homeboys and girls can't get none. I'm Tristan Law. This is the Tristan Law Show. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. And if you missed a moment, go ahead and watch it back. And if you don't like my ugly, mugly face, 6 days later, this is going to come out as a podcast only wherever you find podcasts. Again, I'm Tristan Law. This is the Tristan Law Show. Thanks for joining me, and see you next time.
Flashing red lights, driving at night, windowless ride, feeling alive, nothing in sight, forever.